This is Zack Primetime Reeb, and you're listening to Mitch Please. Are you? Yeah!
Underneath it all, it's just a silly man trying to understand who the fuck I am on this US land. I let my hair grow, then I cut it off, put a couple lines in it, cause you know I'm never coming soft. I do a lot of shows and I get a lot of stares. I got a lot of haters, but really who cares?
Welcome to episode 19 of Mitch Please. Happy New Year. First Mitch Please of 2017, guys. We're doing it here. We're back. We've got a big show lined up. I didn't get a chance to talk last show about something that's a pretty big deal. My birthday on December 17th. Stepped through that PCW curtain for the first time in 13 months, man, with that Tayo Cruz Break Your Heart song, beaming through the loudspeaker, and it felt amazing. It's great to be back with Pro Championship Wrestling. You know, I really only took about 6 months off. A lot of people don't know this, but, PCW management called me in summertime to come back and, do sponsors and promotion and stuff like that. So I've been back with Pro Championship Wrestling since June, July, but haven't been able to step through that curtain and actually perform. So I was given that opportunity on my birthday. It couldn't have meant more. And, sat at the table with Alexander G. Bernard and did commentary, and it seemed to turn out pretty well. Everyone's pretty happy with the job that we did, and AGB is a guy that was really fun to work with. So it feels good to be back in Pro Championship Wrestling, guys. I've got a lot going on right now. And I'm going to share everything with you after we cut over to this interview right here, guys. Brian Cage, the Machine, the Swolverine, Mr. GMSI, this guy right here is a superstar, no doubt about it. He's been to WWE, he's been to TNA, and he's currently in Lucha Underground doing big things. And he's from Chico, California, and I've known the guy since my first day of training, and we've had some issues, and we talk about them. And it's a pretty long interview, so I'm not going to waste too much more time here. I want to cut over to this interview with Brian Cage, so let's get right to it. Man, so it's been a couple years, and I'm sitting right here with a guy that I actually met my first day of wrestling training at the PCW Work Farm. We're here in Chico, California. I want to welcome to the show the Machine, the Swolverine, Brian Cage. Man, Brian, welcome to Mitch Please.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. You missed a few other monikers, but we don't need to get all those in. Yeah, that's right. I was there your first day at the work farm, huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a few other people that started that day, too?
You know what? Out of that class, Zach was in Japan that day. Yeah. So out of that class, it's me, you, and Scoot Robertson. And I remember walking in, and I saw
you and Scoot started at the same time? Almost identical?
Scoot started before me, but my first day, he was already there for a couple years, and we're going through stuff, and I see
Scoot. Scoot was there for a couple of years. Scoot was 15.
He started young, bro. He started at 13 years old. I mean, he just went on that NorCal Tonight show, and said he started at 10. But
he didn't start PCW 13 then. He went somewhere else first.
He started with PCW, and then he went to SPW at 15 or 16.
Oh, because I was there when he first started. I remember, too, he was walking around backwards, working on these reverse calf raises or something like that. Some coach, I don't know what the hell, but...
Well, when I got there, man, I see Jesse Ludlow, which is a name that nobody probably knows, but he was actually a good, real good guy that trained with us, and it was Scoot Robertson and a couple other guys, and we're going through the jumping jacks and the hip squats, and I'm just I'm the only one that's doing them, and then you walk in with, your bag of celery and your bag of peanut butter, and I'm your headband. You look straight. I thought you were that guy on WWE Tough Enough. That got the contract, you know what I mean? That ended up tearing his pec or something.
Yeah,
I thought that was you because you were all jacked up and you looked like him. So I was like, oh my God, who's this guy? And then, man, I'll tell you what, I've seen you do so many things, bro. But I want to know what inspired you to be a pro wrestler.
The first time I ever saw it, I vaguely remember it's almost more of a made-up memory instead of an actual memory that I have. But I remember we went to go see my mom's friend who's in town in Orland, California, which makes Chico look like freaking LA, California. But We went down there, and they had it on TV, and I was like, what is this, these, to me, like, superhero people, like, wrestling on TV screen. I just came enamored with it, and we watched it for a few years, and we got grounded from watching wrestling from all the roughhousing me and my 2 other brothers at the time were doing. And then around 5th grade, so about 10 years old, we started watching it on the DL, like, closing the, make sure no one was around.
So your parents banned wrestling? I mean, they didn't like it?
No, yeah, it was just because we kept on getting, especially me, I was a bad kid. I was in fights at school all the time, and then we were just roughhousing, like, all day, every day. Mom was tired of yelling at us, getting in trouble. She's like, that's it, no more wrestling, period. And actually, my mom's friend, too, even got us tickets to the 1993 Royal Rumble. And she said, nope, can't go.
Oh,
it's grounded.
Man, those are expensive tickets.
Razor Ramon Bret Hart. And, so we started watching on the DL for a while. And then I remember one day my stepdad walked in and goes, hey, you guys are supposed to be watching this. Like watching porn. Like, change the channel. And then my mom just lets us watch it. But it was around that age, about 10, when I kept watching. Like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And at the time, my favorites were Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. And then Shawn overtook the number 1 spot for quite a while. And then, obviously, as I got older and smartened up to the business a little bit, I started appreciating other people. And one of my became good friends with Chris Kanyon, too, that really helped break me and give me some opportunities that led to me to, I guess, where my career has fallen now today.
Yeah, I want to talk about MWF, man, because it's still in Chico. I live here, basically, and I hear about it still. You know what I mean? Second and Warner, the house with the ring, and everything else, man. So it's like, I've heard a bunch of different things. I never got to experience an MWF show, but like,
oh, no, huh?
Never, bro, never. I started right at the end of MWF, but like, how did it all start?
So, okay, MWF originally was Manzanita Wrestling Federation, because I lived at Manzanita Apartments, his townhouses right by PV. And it was just me and because we couldn't roughhouse inside anymore. This was years later after we could start watching wrestling again. Probably was like 7th grade. But me and like my brothers and all the neighborhood kids, there's this little front. I'm describing it with my fingers, like everyone listening can see it. But it's like the left. There's this little field. It was like a perfect little circle with like a cement outline. So that was like the ring bounds, and we'd always have like Royal Rumbles. And they were shoot. There wasn't a lot of work, and we'd all try to really eliminate each other. And I'd always try to work my younger brother to help me eliminate everybody else, get some of the older kids out, and then I could throw him out, so I'd win. And then it progressed from that to.
So you have the psychology down.
Yeah, right. And then it progressed from that to all of us trying to like emulate somebody. So it was kind of like, it wasn't like a full on like backyard wrestling yet, but it was where we just do moves to each other, and like we kind of let each other do stuff, but then still like the older or bigger kids would always win. And I remember this was the best. You had to be someone that you look like or your name resembled. So I was usually Brian Christopher. That's my middle name. Or I lucked out and everyone thought I looked like Benoit and Lex Luger. So those were 2 pretty good prime selections. And then everybody else was like, one of my brother was Justin. So he's always Justin Hawk Bradshaw, because that was his name at the time. Yeah. JBL and whatnot. So on and so on. And then we had the token black friend. And he was like, I want to be Shawn Michaels. I'm like, bro, you can't be Shawn Michaels. And he goes, what? Why? I'm like, come on. Let's be honest. We all would love to be Shawn Michaels, but we can't. And I mean, and you can't. And he would look at me, and I was trying not to be racist about it. Like, you can't. He goes, well, I don't want to be Farouk or Ahmed Johnson. Because black guys at the time. But so it progressed from that to like, the more stereotypical backyard wrestling, but we weren't jumping off of houses through flaming tables. We used to say that it was wrestling in a backyard. We're not backyard wrestling. And I remember the day came where we taped ourselves for the first time and watched it. We're like, oh my, how come we have been doing this the whole time? And so on and so on. It progressed like where we wanted to get a ring. So we made this makeshift ring, which is plywood, zip tied together, taped down on top of a trampoline. So you had like the board impact with the give from the trampoline. And maybe around that time, I know I'd done some stuff with Kanyon. I think that might have been when I done a few things with PCW as far as training wise, and my buddy, 2 other buddies and myself put enough money together to get a ring, so that'd be awesome. We set up at my friend's backyard, which was Second Warner, otherwise known as Warner Street Stadium, and we started to do some practices there, and just like I was just basically taking some stuff I learned from PCW and trying to do it with everyone who would want to train with us, and other friends and whatnot that did the backyard stuff with us, and it just progressed from that. I'm like, dude, we should do shows, and then it was, just a few people here, there, or friends and family type of deal, and then just started to grow more and more and more. And I mean, that one show, remember that? Where freaking the main event, I think, was Scales and Steve-O, and that we had like hundreds of people out there, all throughout the street, all everywhere. Like 4 cop cars came just to watch it. Like, it was freaking amazing. So it just progressed from that, and then.
So I mean, at that point though, when you set up the ring and are you charging for tickets?
No, we did it all then. It was always free. And then we started doing tips, and then we donating tons of tips. So I was like saving all that money up to invest to get into a venue. I was like, we got to get the insurance, about that PCW, the $1 million freaking liability deal, and enough money for a venue and yada yada yada. And as soon as we did, it was like game changer, and I was like, it wants to become like a legit thing. We had to get a business license and everything. Yeah,
and so you were getting going with it, man. You were looking at like a serious business, and like you said, you had started training with Zack Reeb and Pro Championship Wrestling, and were there other guys as well, or were you kind of like you were the lead of the whole thing? Like you were the guy with the most experience, the body, everything was in your name, right? This was your baby. MWF.
Oh yeah, it was definitely my baby. I controlled it all. I mean, I made the card. I was sitting in Cinemark when I worked at the Tinseltown, and I'd be printing out tickets and box office and writing out cards for months and months and months. They go, Draven versus Dredge. Okay, and they'll win, and he'll fight Chains and all. And like I'd have all these test tickets on all these different cards. I'd be putting together in my head, and I'd put together the flyer. I'd go to flyer everything. I was in charge of the ring. I'd set it up and break it down. I'd book the venues. I'd talk to the promoter. I'd pay the insurance. I mean, it was everything. It was all me.
It's a rare thing, man. I think it's a really valuable thing to be able to promote a wrestling show, man. Like for me personally, like I was promoting shows way before I was even ready to wrestle or be on a show, and it's like it's a skill where you can actually make some money if you do it properly. Were you guys making money, man? Was it a money making venture?
It was, but we put it all back into the company to try to keep it going.
That's smart.
Which unfortunately, I wish I would love them and paying all the guys, but we all just did it for the love of it, for the fun of it, and it was just like we're not doing it like to make money. It was just like the avenue of it, and unfortunately, it's still probably one of my favorite times ever in wrestling. And it just flared up enough, like you said too, where I was the most serious. Like there's a few other guys that went to PCW for a little bit, but like me and the PCW Joe, I guess, and Dredge were like the three mainstays. But I was, like I said, this has been my dream since I was 10. So as soon as I started to go out and start doing all the indie wrestling on my own. Also, too, at that time, like MWF had starting to like water down, and everybody was getting kind of tired of all the help. I'm like, look, man. I think too, going back to, I think the most successful promotions are the ones where the promoter is not a wrestler. It's really hard to wrestle and promote at the same time. But
book really like promoting. I want to disagree with you because I think you're right. I think if you're booking the card and you're on the show, that's kind of an issue that a lot of people run into.
I mean, if the person does everything, so the promoter, booker, everything, like I was trying to do the whole show and do your own business was like show days were awesome, but they were the most stressful thing in my life because everybody was all over the place, trying to get everybody there, everybody take care of this, everybody equally do this and that, and then
everything's on your back, and you got to worry about your match.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to release the card and who's going over and how much time, and I got to worry about my match and put my stuff. And I fucking forgot this. I got to go across town, and
and then complaints from other people you got to deal with. Oh, I know, bro.
Everybody's helping. I was doing the concession stand and freaking had people like, oh, I need this, I need that. My mom was like, oh, I need tickets for. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. But going back to it, it just started to like. People were doing less and less, and they just wanted to just wrestle. I'm like, look, man, I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to span out and do my own indie wrestling, and I can't have time to have everything just fall. I can't be the only one flying. I can be the only one freaking setting up and breaking another ring. I can be, like I'm not getting anything out from this either. I'm like, I know nobody else is either. Like this is just kind of our little baby that we're having. But I'm like, if it's going down, then it's going down. And I remember too, like we had a sweet insurance deal. Where I had to pay a monthly thing no matter we worked or not, but it covered like any venue we wanted, as many venues.
Yeah, because you guys ran a lot of venues. I mean, there was the Warner Stadium. Yeah. There was a bar downtown. I think it's Lost on Main now.
Yeah, it was Lucky's then.
Lucky's then. Cal Skate, Off the Wall Soccer, the Veterans Hall.
Yeah, we did quite a few.
You did quite a few venues, man. And to me, I've seen a couple shows at like Cal Skate. Yeah. I think the most talked about MWF event was you versus Kanyon.
Yeah. Because we did the fairgrounds too over there as well. Because we did that was a big thing too. So I always wanted some of the buddies with Kanyon, helped give me some great opportunities, train with them a little bit. But I used to always talk about the fanboy in me, like, hey, what's the opportunity of us wrestling? He goes, well, I can't go wrestling in the backyard, kid. You got after a real ring and blah, blah, blah.
And how were you talking to him? Was it like through email?
It started through email, then freaking through the phone, and then like whenever they were in town, when he was with the Fed, I get tickets and we'd hang out and so on. Me and old Iron Weaver from MWF days actually went to New York to see this indie show of his. And he was like, oh, hey, you guys leaving after the show? You guys want to hang out for a couple days in New York and we can do this and do that? And I go, well, our flight's already changed. And I was like, Jamie, see if you can change the flight in the hotel. And he called and said his girlfriend was having a baby and we had to go back now. We had to switch something around or whatever he lied about. And we went and hung out with him. And I remember that was the talk initially, like wholeheartedly, because he knew I always wanted to work him and always talk about, wrestling stuff.
You guys wrestled twice, right?
Yeah. And he's like, hey, look, you have to get a ring. I remember when I got a ring. I was like, hey, we have a real ring. He goes, no. You guys have to have a real company, though, and running real venues. And then we were. I'm like, hey, look, we are. And then one day, back at box office again at Tinseltown, I get a phone call, and it's Kanyon. So I answer it, breaking the law. And good thing Bickley didn't walk in. But, and I go, what's up, man? He goes, hey, you guys running a show July 14th? I go, no, why? He goes, oh, because I have a show the day before in, the Bay Area. And I could say I could come work with you guys if you guys run the day before, day after. I'm like, oh, well, fuck, we are now. So I booked the show, and that's still probably my top 3 favorite matches of all time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then he called up with the idea to do another one right after Hurricane Katrina as a benefit show. And then we put that together that October following that July and had the rematch.
Both in Chico, right?
Yeah, both in Chico. So to getting to wrestle my icon in my hometown, man, was pretty awesome.
Seriously, I can only imagine, man. And MWF closed down in 2006.
Yeah, the last show we had the Random Rumble at Mr. Lucky's was the last show there, which was amazing. It was just shoot random. I was like, we gotta make something fancy. So I went and bought 20 homie dolls, or the little homie 50-cent figure out of the bins.
Yeah.
And I wrote everybody's name down in these little plastic containers. I put them in there and had the audience members get asked, to draw out the names. So they draw 2 names, and that was the match. So everything was on the fly improv.
Oh, wow.
And then Bickley, who's the commissioner, was the shoot commissioner, so he would decide on the spot, okay, this is what the matches are going to have, or this is match 3rd, or this is the main event, or whatever. So everything was shoot. He was the real deal commissioner. He made all the shots, and we had no idea. I'm like, let's just do that. It would be fun. And it actually turned out to be a fucking amazing show. And there was nobody there too for it. We started pretty late too because we're waiting, and there's nobody there out of nowhere. The whole place packed out. Tommy in the background, you were there, right? Yep. And Bickley's walking around and go, "What's your name? Where you from?" And they'd have him draw the name. But it became one of the awesome shows. And then we did the NorCal Invasion, I think it was, at Cal Skate. And then it just kind of stopped, man. Because we're supposed to keep running at Vets Hall, and then the arrangement we had with Cal Skate and the Vets Hall was going to get shut down, and like I said, a lot of people were flaking on everything, and it was falling on my shoulders. So hey, let's have one more farewell show at Warner Street Stadium. We'll just have a send off and kind of close up a bunch of some matches that's never happened and some feuds, and just be free and a throwback, and that'll be that because I'm gonna do my own thing. And so that's how it kind of just it ended. And everybody was talking about, it'd be cool to bring it back, but it's far gone away, and I'd have no interest of ever. Even though I loved it, I would never want to do it again.
Never want all that stress again,
No.
right? Well, and then you went on to All Pro Wrestling, right? You went on to Pro Wrestling Revolution, Pro Championship Wrestling. You were the first Inter-California champion there.
Yeah.
What were some of your fondest memories of that of MWF, and then kind of branching away and kind of just making it on your own?
Quite honestly, I loved it. I was getting to wrestle everywhere because there's a lot more NorCal federations that seemed at the time, with NAW2 and Brawl and
SPW.
Yeah. And I was making all the rounds. And I remember, too, APW trying to big league me. And, for anybody who doesn't know, I have no love lost for Roland, even though he's gone. But I don't wish death upon anybody. But I'm one person that wasn't, didn't kiss his ass and pretend like I was his best friend. So many people... if they get upset or not, but hated on Roland APW for so long, and then all of a sudden, he tried to change a new leaf or whatever, as when he knew he was, terminally ill, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Roland was so great, he did this for us. Oh, and he sold this and so." I'm like, man, you guys don't just kiss his fucking ass for no, he's a fucking bastard. No joke, he's legit one of the Carney promoters, and I never had any problems with him per se. I never liked him, but I was like, whatever. But he buried me to this foreigner that was trying to train, and he wanted to pay me to train him, and he was looking at these places, and he said that APW quoted $10,000 because he had money, and he was the foreigner, so he didn't know anything. Yeah. I'm like, bro, do not go pay $10,000 at APW. I'm like, who you getting trained by, fucking Jekyll's or Dana? Both cool, whatever, personally, but they're not worth 10 G's to train with.
I agree.
And he's like, oh, well, I told him I was going to train with you, and he basically was going on burying me. I'm like, no, I got no heat with Roland. We're not friends. I don't like him, but there's no issue. He goes, I swear. And I go, call him up and put him on speaker. So he calls him, puts him on speaker, fucking puts me on blast, man. Saying, I don't know, the Roostlook from Wristwatch. He's a fucking yarder. He's never been trained. He's a spot monkey. He got released because he never knew what he's doing. No one wants to book. They just throwing me on the bus like crazy. I'm like, this motherfucker.
When was this?
2011, I think.
Okay, so before we get there, if you don't mind cutting you off here, I want to talk about your first time when you got signed, man, because you were like you said, you were making your rounds, you were doing all the stuff in NorCal, and then all of a sudden, what was it, 2007, 2008? 2008,
yeah.
You got remember your send-off show in Oroville for PCW, and then I remember you going down there, and what was the experience like that first time? And where did you go? Did you go to Georgia?
No, I went to FCW. I was in, remember, all over the place. Okay, wait, let's backtrack. First, I'll just cut some stuff quickly with the NorCal scene. It was awesome, man. I remember the first breakout match I had in UWA, actually, with Mike Rain that helped get me booked everywhere else. And Rick Lecture was a big fan of mine. PCW was my home fed. I loved that. They always had the hottest crowds. And it was the closest drive, because like everywhere I was driving was solo. Like it was like a 3-hour at least, one way. But, I mean, one thing, if I look back now and complain, I don't want to sound like a whiner about it, but I hated was like Don was like the new guy, but I always felt like I was pretty gifted in the ring, and I also looked better than most everybody else. So I thought like I came out and I already had like a separation from all the wrestlers. So like just come out, I'm like, oh look, he's right here, and everyone would just fucking put someone else over on me, and every fed always like I was, like 1 in 100.
But they'd have no problem putting you on the poster.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. But, like, and all my friends that never get to come when they buy tickets are like, dude, how come we never win? Like you look. I'm like, I know. And I just felt like, I was like, oh, look, if Brian's already over from looking good and being good in the ring, like, let's just put a real over so they'd be that much over. And PCW was one of the few people that actually got to win some matches at. But, I mean, whatever. I know it's business. It was all cliquey and, it was cool with everybody. I guess nobody was, like, really, like, my, like, super buddy pal. And, a lot of people would hang out afterwards, or they'd go drink or smoke or do whatever. And I would just show up, hey, got my food, okay, wrestled, love you guys, see you guys later, and go back to freaking home because I had to work the next day and then do the next show or whatever. So I guess I never got, like, super in with that. And I guess that's how it fell apart. But, it still, like I said, still had a blast. I mean, I loved the idea and being able to travel everywhere and breaking in, the hard way, if you will, so to speak. And I did like that, the fact that going back to APW too, they would shit on everybody else. They'd be like, oh, you can't wrestle for them. You can't, like, remember they had all their students like brainwashed, like it was only APW. Then they kind of buddy with PCW. But I'm like, hey, look, I'm not an APW guy. I'm not a PCW guy. I'm a fucking independent wrestler. Like, I'm going to wrestle wherever I want to wrestle. Like, you guys don't even pay me to wrestle. And then they're trying to get me to pay them to come out and wrestle because I'm going to Pro Camp. I'm like, Pro Camp? I train with Ollie in primetime every fucking week. I'm like, the only reason I'm here is because I had to drive Zach's ass down here. I'm like, you're not going to make me pay. Get the hell out of here. Like, it was ridiculous.
I remember those pro camps where Roland wanted $50 from everybody.
I'm like, hold on. You want me to drive down, bring one of the trainers, and wrestle for free, and then pay you $50? I'm like, am I the only one who think you're high, or what's going on here?
Well, I mean, Roland was who he was, and he was successful, and not a lot of people liked him, but he was who he was. He was, he's a legend in NorCal, and everyone has respect for him.
I'm not trying to say he didn't do anything, and that he didn't have a promotion. He had the Beyond the Mat stuff. I'm not trying to take anything away from his credentials. I'm just, and I'm not even trying to talk shit on him per se. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm not going to try to act like he was somebody that he wasn't. Like everybody else did, at towards the end. Like even Gabe Ramirez, who was very close to him, even said, like, yeah, Roland's an asshole for sure. So, I mean, it just is what it is. But anyways, yeah, so the farewell show, PCW. Matter of fact, speaking of PCW, because I remember, I don't remember what falling out I did have with them, but they're trying to book me on one of my last weekends because I had like the NAW farewell show and SPW one and PCW one. And APW was trying to get me down there, and they're like, oh, hey, we're wondering if you're available for this. I don't remember what they did that, like, kind of ticked me off. I go, I'm like, you know what, no, I'm busy that weekend. I'm going to go hang out with friends. And they're like, oh, but no, we're going to book you against Recollection. I'm like, yeah, I'm already working Rick at NAW before I leave. They're like, oh, but we'll actually pay you this time, too. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So it felt good to be like, nah, forget you guys. But, so I had the farewell show there. Remember I did just a little run-in thing with Vince DeMarco. BCW's also was probably the place that sold the most merchandise, which was also another plus to it. But and then I went out to FCW.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what led to WWE contacting you, man? Like, did you do a dark match? I remember something about a dark match. What led to that?
So before that, I went out to Deep South Wrestling through Kanyon's hookup. So I was uncontracted, but I got in through the doors, and I was the only guy uncontracted that was there every training camp, every show, every house show, every TV taping. So I basically was full-time part of the roster. I just wasn't signed. Unfortunately, I missed like the one day because I moved to Marietta from Atlanta. and I got mixed up on the freeways because of construction or whatever, and I just wasn't gonna make class in time, so I just turned around and went home. And that was the day Johnny Ace came down trying to give other guys the contracts. And actually, the only guy that was in my spot was Johnny Curtis, who's Fandango, and he got signed that day, and I didn't because I wasn't there. But they closed down. They separated ties deep south, and they moved everything down to Florida with Steve Kern. And I was like, man. And my son I moved out there when he was like 6 months old. And I told his mom gave me permission to, and I said, all right, well, if it's not working and it closed down, like I'll come back. So I moved back home, and because of that, being on the radar, and actually helped through Luke Hawks and freaking, oh my goodness, freaking Showbiz Bill, with the guy that has books for everybody. Why can't I remember his name? Like he wants to see Bill Apter, but that's the magazine.
Talking about the TNA guy that books?
No, the guy that books everybody. That's not in WWE, or like he's the agent to book everybody.
Oh, okay.
Like
I don't know the name. I know that
I can't think of him, but.
Before we go there, Brian, let me just say this. A lot of people don't know this, man. Like when you're talking about the MWF ring, and when you left to WWE the first time in 2008, the PCW where we both trained, we didn't have a school, bro. From 2006 to 2010, we didn't have a place to train. I was on the road trying to learn and everything else and getting in trouble. But you actually said, hey, man, I know you don't have a place to train. You live here. Everything's 3 hours away. And you said, come use my MWF ring whenever you want. And, dude, I'll tell you what, I bumped my ass off for years in that for when, as long as I could before you had to take it away. And I just want to thank you. I don't know if I thanked you before, but man, thank you so much for giving me that damn ring time that I needed so badly to get better with my bumps and everything else, because without you, I wouldn't have had a ring all that time to train in so much. So thank you, man. And, and in WWE, they let you go. Did they give you a reason that first time? Like I know you said it closed down, but
I was under a contract in Deep South the first time.
Okay,
so I just chose to go back home. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should go to Florida." I'm like, "No, because my kid." I'm like, I made a promise to his mom, so I went back home, and it wasn't too long that I got a phone call. That's the same through Luke and through I can't remember his name, but yeah, and they booked me. I believe actually Tommy Dreamer that called me and booked me for Lucha shows.
How did that feel, bro? That first time getting a call?
Dude, it was so awesome. I'll tell you what. Me and my son's mom had split up, and I remember the night before, she was talking to me. She's like, you know what? Yeah, I was talking to a lot of your friends, and they all think you're foolish, that your dreams of trying to be this big professional wrestler and make it WWE are never going to come to fruition, and you're foolish and blah. And I don't know if she's telling the truth or if she's trying to stick one because we splitting up, and she was just trying to get back at me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Wake up in the morning, boom, email. Hey, Brian, are you available for WWE for these 3 days? I was like, oh, suck it. So I was like, hell yeah. I did the Lucha shows, and it was a Raw and 2 SmackDown tapes. It was 2 SmackDown tapes before they went to Australia for like a tour, and then Raw, which was actually the first. I think it was the first win $1 million thing when my events would like have people call in to try to win $1 million or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
I vaguely remember that ordeal. And I had a dark match the first day I was there. Everybody loved me. I got knocked out by Jimmy Wang Yang from a huge crossbody. I remember thinking, like, oh, I'm going to bump this motherfucker like crazy. I turned around. I jumped up. I caught him in there. And I landed right on top of my head. And out I was. Yeah. And I remember I kicked out. Shupe kicked out. Everyone was knocked out. And the referee counted 3 anyways. And they picked me up, like, to throw me over the ring. The ref's like, no, he's hurt. And I'm, like, staggering, like 30 styles boxing, my dukes up. And I just put my hands down. And I pass out. And my head goes do down each rope. And the trainers came out and whatever. I've seen the tape. That's how I know all this. And, I was out cold, and they wouldn't let me do anything the next day, and I'm thinking, like, I was going to get signed. Even Noble was like, yeah, boy, you're going to get signed. Like, Ace loves you. And then I was like, I shit the bed. So I asked Noble to talk to him for me. And he's like, oh, I didn't get to, man. Sorry, we're busy, but we got your information, yada, yada. He's like, we'll give you a call maybe later on and try to use you again. And I'm like, nah, that ain't good enough. So I find Ace, and I'm trying to wait for a moment to talk to him. He's talking to here, talking to there. He's all over the place. So I say, fuck it, I'm just going to take one shot. So I walked up and go, hey, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, man. I want it. And I put my hand out to shake it, and he waves it off and goes, no, kid, you're interrupting me. I got no time for that. And like walked away. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, well, I guess there it goes. So I was like, I'll just go to Oakland. I'll get some rest, wake up, go eat some awesome catering, chill, watch the show, like nothing else I can do. I go out to the ring because there's different people. They don't know that I was concussed, so I get to snooker some ring time in. And I remember right when I get undressed and go to watch the show, Johnny Ace taps me on the shoulder, brings me into his office, and long story short, gives me a contract. He goes, I'm sorry if I was rude for you the other day, but when you say you're not interrupting somebody, that is what you're doing, but whatever. He's an ass. But so I got signed, and then I went to FCW, man, and it was awesome. And a lot of people from Deep South were there, including Dr. Tom Pritchard, which is like probably hands down the best trainer. Actually, too, Pritchard is amazing, Norman's amazing, and right up there with those two guys is Oliver John for sure. I think he's a phenomenal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was a great time. I got no hard feelings as far as my time there. It was phenomenal.
How long were you there for?
Only a year and a half.
And you were doing like the Swolverine gimmick, but it was something. What was your name?
Well, they switched it. I was regular the whole time, and I actually got teamed up with Justin Gabriel for a while. We had an awesome match with Trent and Kaylin Croft and Tyson Kidd, and it was going great. And then Dusty Rhodes actually was like, "Hey man, you're out there, you're great, you can work great, like you're phenomenal. We need something to separate you from everybody else." He goes like, "Everybody says you look like that one guy, that honey badger." He's like, Matt, what's his name?" He goes, "Wolverine." He goes, "Yeah, that Wolverine guy. But you can't be Wolverine because that's licensed, so you got to come with something else." So I'm like, okay, I got to come with some superhero thing. So I just stole from Marvel vs. DC. There's Dark Claw, which was Wolverine and Batman crossed together. So I kind of stole that design and just made myself Nightclaw, and I never really got the fully debut. I had tons of tape promos for the office and costume design stuff and photo shoots and all this shit. I did a couple darks, and then I actually tore my groin in a practice match, like during training, because it's so cold in there. You just have to get up your seat and go. I tore my groin. It's a match against Ryback actually, and I got put in this match not too long afterwards when I wasn't supposed to work because I was hurt. But this girl was doing this news article about FCW and was focusing on me for whatever reason, and then she just wanted to expose the business with Steve Booter, and they're like, "Well, you're still on the card." He goes, "Well, just go out there and have like a 2-minute squasher, like just let them get heat on you. You come back right away. 1, 2, 3, it's over." So right away, chick hands me out the ring. I hold on. I go to springboard in, and I can't springboard because of my torn groin. So I just feed in for the boot because he's supposed to cut me off. Problem is, he throws the boot like 20 feet away, like across the ring. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's like 2 body parts or 2 full-length people between us. So I just kind of fall in the ring like a retard. And he gets on me, whatever. We don't really get shit on by the crowd. Match was fine. And then that was a big show, though, because like 4 different agents were there, and 4 different people's dads were there. So like the office, of course, watches that show, misses the hundreds of other matches I've had for them. They're awesome. And they say they're going to let me go based on that. And
it was the Chris Logan. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was my name. It was Nightclaw was the gimmick name that I switched to, but Chris Logan was what I switched my name to from Brian Cage because I couldn't have Brian Cage, and that was based on Chris for Chris Kanyon and Logan for Wolverine.
Yeah, and I remember like Mike Shupe was telling me, and he was showing me videos of the gimmick, and I liked it, man. I thought like you could have done something with like the Hurricane, you know what I mean?
That's what it was like, yeah. Because Hurricane came back to right after I was about to debut, and he kind of stole some of my shit. But I was like, hey, this is cool though, because we were going to either tag. The idea was the first tag or do superhero, supervillain thing.
Okay.
Because I was always doing like face promos. They were kind of dark with their face, and I kind of switched it to semi-heelish for the office, but you know, it went nowhere. And I got released, and all the agents, all the trainers there, like had my back. I'm like, oh no, you want to get rid of this guy? He's awesome. And John Ace told me like, oh well, if he's that good, I guess we'll just sign him again, won't we? And
how old were you at the time?
26.
Okay. So I mean, still young though. You know. So were you? I mean, you obviously you were still dead set on getting bookings. And
you know, I went from getting a salary weekly paycheck from WWE. My goal the whole time of my life was to get signed by the time I was 24. So I accomplished that, and then I went back down. I started living with my buddy in SoCal, down LA area, and I never really wrestled in SoCal. And unfortunately, at that time we had TV locally, but nothing like NXT. So even though I was under contract with WWE, nobody knew me still. Right. So then I went from getting a salary weekly paycheck from WWE to begging to get on shows for $20 again. So it was like starting all over. But I said, fuck, I don't care. I'm gonna earn my keep. They're gonna see me. I'm gonna bust my ass, and I'm gonna get freaking booked on this show and booked on that show and booked on this show and get paid more and more and more. And what really helped break me out was I paying my dues, and I finally got booked on PWG. Yeah. And once I got booked on PWG, man, that started just everybody and their mom watched PWG. I was getting booked on all these other indie shows and so on and so on and so on. And it just really opened a lot of the doors to going everywhere else. I got to do a few different deals with TNA, and they were stupid and didn't sign me either.
Yeah, I saw that you were on the gut check.
I did the gut check thing. I was brought back for Destination X, and I was supposed to be signed from that too. And they just, I guess to their defense, they brought me in for a dark match. I was supposed to get signed, and that's like when Hogan took over. And then they brought me in for another dark match and said, okay, look, we want to use you to do this gut check thing. So I come for the gut check. They're like, don't worry, you're going to get signed either way, win or lose. We want to use you. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I don't remember. I didn't get the contract, which was BS, but there's some reason why like stuff kind of slowed down there. Then they brought me back for Destination X, and they even told me, Bob Ryder told me, he's like, hey, this was kind of management, myself, a lot of people thought that you should have won. The gut checks was kind of a way to say sorry and another opportunity for you. And I go, so we're going to, do more work? He goes, oh, yeah. He gives me the wink. He goes, trust me, we'll be talking, we'll be doing business. I'm like, awesome. And then, I was CC'd in a lot of emails and stuff. And I thought something was coming, but that's right when they lost their contract with Spike. And it kind of went downhill, so I just kind of lost contact with him on that. And then I knew Lucha wanted to use me for months and months and months before it was ever taping. And so I just went that way because I got offered a contract between them and AAA, so I just took that and made the best of it.
Before that, AAA, I want to talk about your AAA stuff and your Lucha Underground stuff, but you had a lot of stuff going on, man. You were in a movie, of course you have everyone knows when they look at you, you're a bodybuilder, you had bodybuilding, contests you were in, so you had a lot of stuff going on. Did you ever see yourself getting away from wrestling and focusing and doing something else?
No, wrestling was still the be-all, end-all. Everybody says that too. When I told them I got signed by WWE, I'm like, oh, I'm a pro wrestler. They're like, oh, you're going to go to the movies? Oh, you're going to do UFC? Oh, you're going to do this? Oh, you want to be a pro bodybuilder or wrestler? I'm like, no, wrestling. I love bodybuilding. I'm passionate about that. I got hurt at the end of 2010, and I separated my shoulder real bad. I couldn't do much, and the girlfriend calling in, and I got super out of shape. People pick up pictures from the internet in 2011 because I looked fucking terrible. I was super broke. I was depressed. I couldn't lift. I couldn't train at all. Just life had me in the ruts, man.
You still look better than everybody else because I actually wrestled you during that time. We wrestled at the off.
I think that was right when I was on the upswing of it.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, yeah. It was right when I started to get back in the gym stuff. So I wasn't back to normal Brian Cage status, but I was looking better. But yeah, even then, I guess too, I felt like I did look better than most everybody. Because even then, before that too, when I was younger, I looked better than most everyone. Even now today, when I see a lot of NorCal guys, like, oh, remember back in the day when you were totally small and you weren't in good shape? I'm like, I was so bigger and better shape than all you guys. What are you talking about? But so I'd fallen on hard times, and when I could start to train again, I was getting back in better shape. I was like, you know what? I always said I wanted to do a bodybuilding show, but I was always kind of pussyfooted around it. I'm like, nah, fuck it, I'm really going to do it. I dedicated myself to it and made it happen, and I won my class and got second in the overall. First time out there, and I loved it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing this. So that became a more of a hobby since wrestling was kind of more the profession then. And I love that, but I never had a desire to turn pro and go make that my full-time job. And even though I love UFC or, doing the small bits of acting stuff is fun, that's still not what I'm passionate about. And it's hard enough to make it in wrestling being as passionate as I am about it. So all these other entertainment aspects or avenues, if you're not die hard passionate about it, you're never going to make it unless you just luck out and get something at your feet, which not too many people come knocking at the door to give you an opportunity. You got to go make it. So
I want to bring this back just a minute, Brian, because you just got a phone call, right, from your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to break news here on Mitch, please, but I'm completely honored right here because Brian Cage here is continuing this conversation when his girlfriend, who, can I say who it is?
People will know.
This guy's got Melissa Santos calling him, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, his girlfriend, and he's continuing this interview with me. Man, I'm completely honored, and I want to congratulate you on that. And I don't know. I had to bring that up, man, because I'm looking at you. I looked down and I saw that, and that's awesome, man. And let's talk about Lucha Underground. You know what I mean? That was like a resurgence for you. You know what I mean? Here, WWE, like you were saying, they were like, and TNA was like, but here you go, Lucha Underground, and one of the hottest things going on in pro wrestling, and they pick you up, man. What, season 1, right? And how did that come about? And how's that experience been?
It's been fantastic. I was really uncertain about it at first because when the contracts came out, man, they were so bunk. And Joey Ryan actually took a hit because he wanted Joey and Candice on the first season, and Candice didn't want to sign because she was trying to go to WWE, and the contracts were really bunk. And Joey kind of gathered a lot of guys together, one of me being included, and had this attorney that used to be a worker kind of try to represent us all because it was a bunk deal, and it got a lot of people better contracts, but Joey kind of paid the price for that and got heat, and he didn't get brought in. Luckily, he made his way into season 2, but he kind of had to wait, so he kind of took one for the team. But I did a tryout when I left WWE with AAA, and Conan loved me, and then he found out I was boys with Norman because him and Norman are great, and he's trying to bring me around AAA, and it never happened. Just because business was low, and drugs and violence was really bad then too in Mexico at that time with the cartels and stuff. So he's like, I don't want to bring you down here yet. He goes, but trust me, we're going to do something in America. We want you for that. We got tied up with that Lucha Libre crap on MTV2. If you remember that, was
Wrestling Society X?
No. That was something different. what was it called? I don't know. I just remember it was on MTV2. It was Lucha Libre. I remember T.J. Perkins was on there for a second, but like it was a shit fest. It lasted for a day and a half, and like they were just stuck legally in contracts forever. They went to court for years, and they ended up just paying the guy to get out of it. And then they worked with Robert, and that became Lucha Underground. So I got contacted like in May. They started filming in September, October. Months beforehand, like, hey, we're going to come. We want you to be part of it. We're going to go look at PWG. We're trying to get talent. You know, can you help refer us? And there's Conan that was really had my back and support because he was big in getting a lot of the first talent. And when we saw the contracts, I was like, oh, these are kind of whack. And then Dorian from AAA actually is the one that contacted me and made my deal and got me a little better deal with Lucha Underground, and then matched the deal basically with AAA. So I was like, okay, Lucha Underground, a lot of people are uncertain. Basically, we all kind of thought it was going to be a quick payday. It would be a flash in the pan. It kind of sucked because it's a bunch of TV people trying to do wrestling. It would kind of be like Wrestling Society X. Right. And I was like, well, at least AAA's been around forever. They're not going anywhere, and I'll get work there, and I'll get some international exposure. It's like, oh, F it, I'll do it. And then my first week in there, I couldn't have been more wrong about all my preconceived notions. Like, it was far and away amazing. Like the production value, the crowd, the treatment. Oh my god! Like WWE, man, you're walking on eggshells. You're getting heat for this, heat for that. Especially if you're being the new guy, unless you're a top 10 guy, they're pushing you to the moon and rubbing your fucking feet. Like it sucks there. TNA was awesome. I'd never had any sort of feeling like, oh, can I sit here? Can I do I gotta shake hands before I go to care? Like it was like an indie show. Everybody was cool. Everybody's chill. No one gave a shit. I was like, man, awesome. Like, Sting and stuff were coming shaking my hand first, like, and beating me. Like, it was so cool. Obviously, management and booking wise, it's a little flat, but and it's inconsistent in their business. But hey, they're still around. They've been going out of business.
Honestly, with the Matt Hardy stuff and everything, I think they have a chance to really take a leap.
They actually some stuff happened with it too. I know. Ownership's got bought out. They handle a lot of stuff, and it actually looks pretty promising. I think Matt Hardy's going to help take over a lot of the control and booking, and it looks really good. I mean, I talked to a couple guys that have the guarantee contracts with them, and actually, like TNA's going to maybe start thriving a little bit. But people have been saying they were going out of business for the last like 10 years. So
yeah, since day one for 15 years. Since they started.
So and I don't want them to go out of business. I mean, people can hate on them if they want, but I mean, it's not a place to work. It's people that have jobs. It's more. Choices of wrestling, so good for them. But anyways, going back to Lucha, far and away best treatment ever, man. They're treating us all like rock stars, movie stars. I mean, it was amazing. Like we're getting per diem, we're getting put up in this like 4 or 5 star hotel. They're paying fucking mileage if you drive in. They're flying in and out. They're paying us well. They cater us all day long. They bring in food. I'm like, why are we getting per diem? You guys give us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, it's so cool, man. The treatment is awesome. It's already all written out because it's a TV show about wrestling rather than a wrestling show on TV. So there's nobody's politicking for anything. Nobody's trying to backstab. Nobody's trying to get their shit in and or go into business for themselves. Like, we're all working together as a team and a unity to like make the show better. And like I think it resembles that too when you watch. You can see everyone's having fun, everybody's loving it, everybody's excited, and I'm stoked to have been a part of it.
Dude, two of the coolest things I saw on there was like it was like a promo backstage or whatever. It's like in a parking lot, and you like rip somebody's heart out.
I don't remember what was hard, but yeah, the fight scene. I remember Tommaso Ciampa saw it before I did, before it aired. Because I remember filming it, and I didn't know how it looked, but he's like, oh my god. His kids, that's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in wrestling. He was like, if that was me, that'd be like my go-to, like, oh, this is my, my fucking top tier thing I've done in wrestling. And I saw it, I'm like, this is amazing. I had no idea it'd be so cool. And that's like, it's all that cinematic, like, vignettes and backstage stuff that they produce. It's so cool to be part of, and it's so much easier too, and you get paid like the same rate to do them. So I love it.
Hell yeah, man! And then another cool thing I saw, which I don't think's ever been done in wrestling, is it was you and Prince Puma. You guys were feuding for the belt, and then you like ripped the belt in half, bro. I thought that was the coolest thing because like that's never been like. There's a lot of things that's been done in wrestling. Like everything's been done, right? Nobody's ever ripped a belt in half that I can remember. So I just thought that was really cool, man.
That's actually one of my most. Not for me memorable, but a lot of people bring up, and that actually was that episode is what got me booked in From Dusk Till Dawn too, because he saw that and he barked out and they're like, "We need a body guy," and like, "Oh, let's get Cage from Lucha Underground." Because actually one of the brothers from the series From Dusk Till Dawn was at that episode. He goes, "You ripped the title in half," and he put me over. So yeah. Robert Rodriguez used me for that, but the head writer of the show, DJ, who was he was on WWE as Big Dick Johnson, the DX guy, come out the oil and the thong and stuff.
Right.
But he's amazing. He's a great guy. But They made the title and they bring it and he goes, "What the hell is this?" He goes, "Cage, I want you to rip that thing in half tonight. That's the ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen. We're not keeping that as our title." So it was never planned for me to rip the title. They just wanted to because they hated the title so much. They wanted a new one, so that's the only way to get rid of it. That's the title we had for the day. So that's how that happened.
And then I remember seeing a picture of you in your Donald Trump gear, but I think it was all, or maybe it was just a t-shirt, but like coming out at AAA, like probably main event with Del Rio, El Patron, and you know what I mean, just hail Trump or whatever it was, bro, make America great again in Mexico. I thought that was good stuff, man. I mean, were you in fear for your life at all? Because that seems like something that could really go wrong, you know what I mean, if security's not tight.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even know about it. I came back, my buddy that I trained with in the gym was like, "Hey, did you hear about Donald Trump stuff?" I said, "No." He gave me the rundown with all the racist Mexican remarks. I thought it was hilarious, not what he said, but the fact of using it to wrestling. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get a shirt and use that in Mexico. And I asked Conan, like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a shirt for freaking Triple Mania," and he's, "That's awesome, man, I love it." And I go, "Well," and I was like, "For real?" So I was like, "Do you think I'm gonna get shot or anything?" He goes, "Yeah, it could get crazy down there. Like, we've been at shows where they go, hey, that people over here, like in this corner on that front row or whatever, like don't mess with them." I'm like, "Oh." Okay, well, thanks for telling me. But, so I was a little concerned. And then, it's crazy because I think I get more heat from, or at least it made more noise and impact in the States than it did in Mexico. And I was going to do it as a one-off. And then it got so much attention and so much people talking about it. Like, oh, I guess let's do this all. And that's kind of became my persona. And then they kind of rubbed all the other heels with me and everybody was Team Trump. And they're doing Team Trump vignettes and videos all the time. So now I get to see more of the heat remark. And then, I thought too with Trump winning, I'm like, dude, this is the perfect time to give me the freaking gold and make it, run with it.
Yeah, no, the Trump thing, Trump winning, it's gold for comedy. It's gold for wrestling angles and stuff. All right, so Brian, you brought up Conan a couple times here, and I'm a big fan of Conan's podcast, man, Keeping It 100. Yeah. And I remember you were on there one time, and I don't remember what exactly. I think Sonny's name was brought up, right? Mm-hmm. So then you mentioned me. And you called me the biggest fucking scumbag of all time. Which when I first heard it, I was like, oh man, I didn't know Brian was mad at me. But then I really thought, and I messaged you, but then I really thought about it. I was like, oh no, this is awesome. Like my name was on this global podcast deal, And I responded or whatever. I messaged Conan. I ended up getting on the show, bro. Like Conan and Disco and all them start calling me. So again, I got to thank you again. But what, is there heat, man? Because let's talk about it.
That's perfect. I was going to bring this up if you didn't. But okay, so first of all, yeah, how it got brought up was he was talking about like the hottest girl in wrestling. And I said, Sonny was at one point. I think everyone, especially adolescents, had a thing for Sonny. And I'm like, but she's fallen far from where she was. And I was like, oh, then of all people, she's got to date freaking Mitch Valentine too. Like that took away any sort of nostalgia she could have had left for a hotness. And like, oh, who's that? I'm like, oh, the biggest fucking scumbag ever. So anyways, I remember you messaged me about it, and Conan actually hit me up asking if he should put you on the show before he did. So I told him, I was like, well, that's up to you, man. I was like, I mean, he did date Sonny because he's like, oh, we're gonna do a thing, we're gonna blast her and put her on, on blast or whatever. I'm like, well, he did really date her, so like he might have some entertaining stories. Like I don't know. So he's like, okay. So like, thanks, Cage. I think I'll get him. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I thought about trying to bury, but now you don't want that guy on the show. I'm like, I don't really care. But okay, so going back to the PCW days. Here, we'll go back to the beginning too. When I said why I liked PCW too, because actually that's where I made the most money. Not because I sold the most merch, but we had a ticket deal. Zack worked out with me. That's Mr. Primetime. He ran the PCW, where I got like half every ticket sale. So I was always hustling, trying to sell tickets to all my friends or family, or whatever, and I got to keep half of it. I always keep half of it. I come back, from WWE. I'm down south, and I remember Zack too. I'm sure he's talked to you many times on the phone where he starts talking about angles and shows, and you're 3 hours later.
3 years ahead of time. Yeah.
You're in 3 hours later. You're in 2019. And the main event for Extreme Measures 27 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, man, cool. All right, yeah, I'll see you at the show. And so I remember we had worked the same deal, and I didn't sell tickets because I was in LA. But I remember I had managed to say, hey, look, I have this person come, like I'll keep the head count or whatever. He was like, yeah, cool. We'll work out when we get there, and we'll have the same money split thing. So I go, I'm ready to get my envelope. I remember at the time before I left, I think I bumped up to like $60. I think was getting my normal payout before the ticket split, before merch. And I get the envelope, and there's only $50 in there. And I'm like, huh. that's already $10 short. I'm like, what's up the ticket money? So I go, hey Zach, what's up with the payout, man? What's up the ticket? And he goes, oh, I don't know, man. You got to talk to Mitch. And I go, what? And he goes, oh, you got to talk to Mitch. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't make the deal with Mitch. I made it with you. And he goes, oh, Mitch had a little money. You go talk to him. So then I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, all right, he's just passing the buck off. So then I come talk to you. I'm like, hey, man. He goes, no, that's the only money we have, man. There's no deal. I'm like, what do you mean there's no deal with that? And he's like, no, that's whatever he said. Like, that's what we got. And then Rick got involved, and you guys were talking back and forth. And I'm like, look, Mitch, you know I had the ticket deal the whole time. And you're kind of playing, like, dumb with it. Like, no, I don't want no ticket deal. I'm like, I like these motherfuckers. And I'm sitting there, and it was like the first time coming back to Chico, really.
Yeah, it was,
not for wrestling, but just in general. So, like, all my family was there. We're all waiting at freaking Jack's or something to go eat, and everybody's waiting for me in Orville. I'm sitting and waiting for the payout forever. Then you come, and, like, you guys give me, I think it was like 90 then, which was, like, lower compared to how many people came. I don't remember how many people came to the show, but, like, oh, is that cool, man? Is it just let you know? I was like, the most we paid anybody or whatever at the show, and I was like, whatever, man, it is what it is. And I left. And I was hot, but I was more hot, too, that I had to wait forever because everybody was waiting for me, all my family. And then, I remember getting an email from you, too. They're like, oh, hey, after I got Zach's, like, 5 years of planning of what we were going to do, where we're going forward. You're like, hey, this is the deal now. Like, don't worry, you're not on the next show or this show or what. Basically, I'm not being used again. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, hold on. Whoa. I thought all this, like, oh, no. What? I don't remember the verbiage you used, but I was like, these motherfuckers. I'm like, and too, it hurt more because, like I said, I wasn't anybody's guy, but PCW was my home fed.
Yeah.
So then I was like, then I got shot about. I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck that. So I was really hot. And then I remember, so there was like no communication. That was it. And I talked to you or didn't talk to Zach. And I remember I get re-signed for a hot second before they rescind my contract. I remember like right after I get re-signed, all of a sudden I get a message from you. Yo, Brian, can you give me and Zach some tickets for Raw tonight? And I'm like, what? Are you fucking serious? And I'm like, I'm not gonna even respond. And like a second goes by, or I mean maybe a couple minutes, and then I get the question mark. Like, hurry up and fucking answer me, bro. Why are you talking? I'm like, are you serious? Like, bro, I'm not getting tickets for you. No freaking way. Or whatever I say. And maybe I should have because I got rescinded. So, but I didn't go back to WWE. Anyways, like I think it was the end of 2011, I believe, when I came back and I worked you.
Yeah, so because I remember a couple things, because I'm glad we're talking about this, bro, and I'm glad we're talking about live on Mitch Please for everyone to hear.
This is half the coolness about doing this.
So Zach will tell you this, and I'll tell you this. The reins of PCW and the all the responsibilities and everything that I had at 20 years old, 22 years old, I wasn't ready for it, man. Like, I wasn't ready to tell Brian Cage and Adam Thornstowe and Rick Luxury what they're doing and pay them. Like, I was not ready for that position, but I was in that position. And I remember whatever we paid you in Orville, and you weren't happy about that, and I said something like, well, you got your merch you made, right? And I said something like that. So I remember that.
I remember that. She said, I don't even know why you're complaining. You got merch. I was like, motherfucker, that's the merch I had to pay for to get to sell.
I know. It was a horrible comeback. But then, yeah, you came back, and we wrestled. I wrestled you that first night when you came back in Chico, and I don't remember issues that night. I remember you also came back and you wrestled AJ Kirsch. Mm-hmm. So it was either the AJ Kirsch night.
No, okay. So I came back. I came back. I'm like, okay. I remember I was going to wrestle you too, and you know, too, your reputation, I guess,
supersedes itself.
Yeah.
It's just a little,
because you know, like I said too, like you've done a lot of not smart choices. You know, a lot of the boys have their own Mitch stories. I mean, you got your little deal with all the brawl guys down there on the camera show,
$1,000 payout.
And I mean, you just so many different things. And like, not to get into personal, I just don't want to drop names, but obviously you started dating one of my personal best friends, and I remember I was like, I felt like I had a sister then. I was so pissed, like, this fucking girl shouldn't be dating Mitch. And but she seemed so high, and like I didn't want to crush her with it, like, and like bury it, but I couldn't be excited either. I'm like, and then that went its route, and obviously not best of friends anymore. And so, but as far as you guys, rather.
Yeah.
But we were, so obviously I had that heat too. I was like, hey, you should come. I'm going to wrestle Mitch. Maybe I'll fucking put the SmackDown on him. Like, whatever. We'll see how it goes. Well, now people are asking, like, oh, hey, is it going to be cool this time? Is it going to be cool? And I'm like, oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And, you know, we did the match. It was fine. Everything was cool. The money arrangement was all fine. Everything was great. So I was like, cool. No problems. Say, hey, come back and work, you know, the Rumble gimmick with AJ.
AJ, yeah.
We did the Rumble. Did the match with AJ was fine. Did the Rumble was all cool again. Then we get the payout again. And it was like, almost identical. I think it was like less than like what I was supposed to get. And I think we saw like a ticket arrangement, and I didn't get that. I'm like, hold the fuck up! Like, is this just repeating itself? Like, just what happened a couple of years ago? Like exact same scenario. And I remember I was so mad, and my man just went, I don't care. I'm like, all right, see you guys later. I'm fucking done with PCW. And then that's where the heat came from, where I was like, fuck these guys. And I was like, seeing you guys trying to advertise me like on flyers or for the school and stuff. Like, no, fuck that. You're gonna dog me twice, and then try to be like, oh no, but we had Brian Cage, because I'm trying to make more of a name for myself. So,
and I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I was doing so much back then. Way before I was ready. I was helping train. I was promoting. My phone number, sponsors. Everything was basically. Zach was married, so like everything was PCW. Everything fell on my back. So I honestly don't remember like how much I paid you or what happened with the tickets and stuff. But dude, there's no doubt. Like, I always respected you, and I knew you were valuable, especially in Chico. Like, I never wanted to damage that relationship at all, and it always, I always wanted that heat to be on me and not on Zach. You know what I mean? Because like it wasn't. Yeah, he's the guy in charge, but at the time, like he didn't really know what was going on. Like, I was handling everything.
From this too, Zach's contacted me and tried to make amends and stuff and try to bring him back, and even then, he apologized for stuff. And originally, the very first incident, though, it was you kind of being like more of the douchebag in the conversation. I do blame Zach too, because Zach's the one that passed the heat. He's like, oh, not me. You know what I mean? He could have. He could be like, oh yeah, sorry, here, let me. Fucking, he's the supervisor. He could have stepped over you, like, okay, here's the deal, let's make it right. Instead, he just wanted to be like, let me just pass the buck to Mitch. Brian will be pissed off at Mitch, and I'll just go over here and worry about what I'm doing. And then after that fact, then I guess maybe you could have taken more of the heat. Maybe Zach is also responsible for having you in charge of everything. Wasn't maybe the right call for him to do, but then I remember you had more, since you were more in charge of PCW. I remember you did have more of a chip on your shoulder, and which is more of an ass. I'm like, this piece of shit right here, man. Let me tell you. I was like, oh fuck it, whatever. And then the scumbag stuff was just through a lot of people's stories and stuff, and your personal life stuff. I was like, this guy's just, man, not the classiest of acts, and not everyone's favorite person either.
You know what? And that's okay, man. And I understand it. And there is some guys that can say whatever they want, man. And I'm proud of what I did. Like, did I make a few mistakes? Did I do everything perfect? No. But it's like I had to learn. And I was learning. Like, I was basically running like one of the top wrestling companies in NorCal. And it's like, I was not ready for that. But bottom line is, man, I'm sorry that things happened the way that they did. And you're damn right, man. Pro Championship Wrestling here in Chico, it's got to have Brian Cage on it, or it's not even worth running, because you are somebody that you are a Chico celebrity, and you are very, very valuable to a show. So I feel bad, man, that I ever damaged that relationship, and I hope that maybe we can work together again one day.
Well, are you still with PCW?
So, it's a funny story with me, man. As you can see here, I put on a bunch of weight. I ain't wrestled in over a year. I got metal in my shoulder right now. I just had shoulder surgery a couple months ago. So I'm kind of on a break as far as in-ring stuff. I'm still doing, promotional stuff and marketing, and they got me commentating right now. But,
Cause I remember when Zach apologized too, and he tried to get back on the show, he had said that, like, he had that he's like, it was my mistake. I should have put Mitch there. He wasn't ready for it. He kind of burned a lot of bridges with people, yada yada yada. But he made it sound like you were no longer involved with PCW. Now, does that mean as far as just like booking it, or?
I was gone for 13. Well, I was gone for like 6 months, and then I was like, Zach called and said, "Dude, I kind of want you to get sponsors again." You know what I mean? But no, like I felt like it was a thing where it was a mutual agreement for me to leave. But I said, "Tell them you kicked me out so the boys can pop or whatever if they don't like me." Because there is a lot of guys that don't like me, man.
You got a lot of heat, bro.
I got a lot of heat, bro. But it's okay, because like you're one of the only guys that'll sit here and actually tell me your problem that you had with me. A lot of guys won't say anything.
I'm like, I'll tell my problem. I have no problem saying what you did or how pissed off I was. Like, nah, fuck this guy. So I mean, like, and then I think too, on top of it, just your smugness about it all. I think it too, like, made it more pissed off. Like, you just had this like I wanted to kill you, and I was so mad too. Like I said, the second time it happened, like, it went from being so pissed to just not caring. I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, and you would have too, man, because we've rolled around on the mat before, and you tapped me out in about a minute. So there's no doubt that could have happened, and it was. Appreciate you not doing that.
at least via video footage. I mean, I don't know if I would be able to knock you out, because it seems like you you've got hit plenty of times, and you just keep on coming back up.
I'm a glutton for punishment, man. I keep getting up. But hey, man, we're getting to the hour mark here. What a conversation, man. I think we covered a lot of great things. And like I said, I thank you for everything. I thank you for the ring time. I thank you for
hey, you were there when I made up Weapon X. You remember that?
I remember taking a few moves from you that I was real nervous about.
I remember. Actually, I don't think I give it to Mike Omega, but you were there. And I tried to give it to you too. Like, I don't think it's gonna work, man. I don't think it's gonna work,
bro. I was worried. What was the gory thing?
Yeah, that's what's on Weapon X.
I took that. That was the finish.
You took it at PCW. Yeah, I beat you. But when I did it the first time, I was practicing it. I was doing it to Mike because it's so small. I was like, let me try to Mitch. And you're like, I kept trying to put you up for you. You're like, no. I don't think it's gonna work. Like, it's not gonna work on me.
I hate taking moves from bigger guys, man. I was lucky enough to be a decently sized guy that a lot of guys.
Beat Mike Omega the whole time.
I just beat up Shupe all day. And you know what? Let's close out on Shupe, man, because he's a guy. He's a mutual friend. In fact, I wouldn't even known this interview wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Mike Shupe. And he's a guy that really credits his start in wrestling to you. He looks at you like a damn father figure.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mike Shupe, man?
You know what, man? Every dog's Shupe, and let's shoot it straight. I mean, Mike is not the most gifted athletic person in the universe by any stretch of the imagination. Even in the F crew would always dog on him, but he was like the. I don't want to say hornswoggle, but whatever. He was like the guy that everybody would kind of fucking poke fun at and joke around and give a hard time and rib. And I was like, yeah, you know what, man, that might be the case. But out of all you guys, I'm like, he might not be the biggest. He's definitely not the biggest. He's like, he might be the best, the most athletic. But of everybody, I feel like he maybe second to maybe only me has the most heart out of anybody. Like, he was so determined to make it. He would be there every practice. He's the only guy that was actually training and trying to put on size and working out. And and I respected that and appreciated it. And I could see that maybe he didn't have all the talent, skill, and ability to make it, but his heart and his desire was there and was stronger than anybody else's. So me, from wanting to do this forever and been told by everybody from all my friends and family that I'd never happen, I'm like, fuck that, I'm going to make it happen. So I could see everything's been said the same thing to him, and he had that fire and determination to make it happen. So I definitely respected the hell out of that, and I always wanted a better form around. I feel like something always they're missing, and it sucks too for his size, because he's got to have something special in the ring to be able to get over, just because... I mean, like, Rey Mysterio can't go out there and wrestle like Hulk Hogan. He's got to fucking be Rey Mysterio. And
he's got fire, man. And he can cut a good promo.
Oh, yeah, his promos got better. We had a couple good backstage ones. And, and his intensity started picking up, too. But, or his charisma rather. But I just felt like his ring work was always just lacking. And it wasn't where it needed to be, especially for his size. I had a really good match with him. I remember, I think, Draven or freaking...
Chico Lopez.
Yeah. I think we got to argue about something. He's like, I bet you can have a good match with Michael Omega. Like, fuck that. I'll have a good match with Michael Omega, and I'll put his ass over, too. But, I think we were arguing or putting people, I don't know, whatever it was. And I like my match with Shupe, but, yeah, man, it's come full circle. We just talked about how I saw him at the theater coming in dressed as John Cena when I was working there, and I gave him a flyer for an MWF show. Then last night I go to see Sting with my son, and then there's Michael Omega working. I'm like, holy shit! I was like, I forgot my John Cena attire at home.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. And closing out here, Brian, is there anything in the future that you have your mind set on as far as goals, aspirations that you still want to accomplish in professional wrestling?
Sure. I mean, I still would love to win a mega world championship for one of them, whether it be PWG, AAA, Lucha Underground, whatever the case may be. I feel like those have all eluded me. I'm way more of an out to get put over, but I still kind of feel like I have the NorCal curse where, especially even now being bigger as far as physically and more talented and a bigger name, where I'm still brought in and pushed a lot, but I'm still just brought in almost to make everybody else look better, put everybody else over. Lucha's really put me to the moon, but obviously they put the strap on me. Not yet, anyways. Right? And but I definitely want that mainstay right there. And then I want to go into New Japan. I got to go to Japan last year. It was phenomenal. I may be doing some more work with Noah, but I'd love to break into New Japan. I was on a different interview saying I'd rather go work Wrestle Kingdom and Tokyo Dome than WrestleMania, maybe at this point. And my defense to that was because I said Snooki was at WrestleMania. I'm like, you're not going to see her at fucking New Japan. But, I mean, everybody loves to WrestleMania. I'd love to go back to be able to wrestle in WrestleMania. But if I never go back to WWE, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm doing much better, namesake-wise and financially than I ever was when I was in the Fed. But I got no heat there. And, I just want to continue to get better and get to work some guys I've got to work and become more and more of a household name, so to speak, in the wrestling world, if you will. Get a mega title to help establish my resume and break into New Japan, and I don't know, hopefully do it for another 10 years.
Hell yeah, man. And then where can people find more out about you on the social media?
The social media sites, we got Mr. GMSI underscore BCage on Twitter. It's Mr. Get My Shit In. Just for all those that don't know what GMSI means, if he's getting my shit. Let's go back to that too. You see, he's back in the NorCal days, had all these high spots. Cause I idolize like Chris Kanyon, and if you know Chris Kanyon, he's the innovator of offense. He did all his cool ass moves. So I want to do all these cool ass moves. What I was into. And I was like, oh, fucking Brian Cage was going to get shit in. I was going to get shit in. And he was giving me shit for it. And then it was an FCW, same thing. Oh, Chris Logan, got to get his shit in. Got to get his shit in. And so finally I was like, you know what? That's right. Because I'm Mr. Get My Shit In. I'm going to get it in. And we laughed. And Pop like, I should make that my fucking gimmick. I got a pair of trunks made right after I got let go of FCW. And I was waiting to debut him. And then going back to when I said I was hurt. And I was looking like shit. I'm like, nah, I can't debut him like this. And then I ended up doing it anyways because I didn't want to wait. It was like a joke at first when I got over. And that kind of became one of my gimmicks, if you will, was Mr. GMSI, Mr. Get My Shit In. So, anyways, back to it's Mr. GMSI underscore BCage on Twitter, Brian Cage on Facebook and on Instagram, and Pro Wrestling Tees / Brian Cage as well if you want to get some Cage merch. I got some sweet shirts.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, man, it's been years. I'm really, really glad we got to do this, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, no problem, man. So let me ask you a question real quick before we go. So how did you and Sonny happen?
All right, I'm trying to think. Did I talk about this on the show before? I might have, but I'll tell you right now. It was WrestleMania weekend, right? Santa Clara, San Jose,
Yep.
and Donovan Troi. I don't know if you've worked with him. Okay, so Donovan Troi, man, we went to WrestleMania together. We worked at the Reno the night before. We were doing security for WrestleCon. So we're like doing security for Ric Flair, Bret Hart. And then that night, there's...
Hold on, look at this name. You dropped it.
Oh, pick that up. Thank you. Yeah, Lita also. Let's pick that one up. Doing security for those guys. And it was cool. Ric Flair actually faved me real bad. I'll have to tell you that another time. I'll tell you right now. I go, I'm talking to Rick, and I'm getting his limo driver for him, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, Rick, your limo driver's here. He's like, oh, can you tell him 20 more minutes? I want to get this line done. I'm like, okay, 20 more minutes, and go back. Oh, Rick, He's like, okay, thank you. I go, hey, Rick, can I get a quick pic with you? And he's like, time is money, woo! And he just kept walking. Greatest thing ever.
Awesome.
But
And it makes you feel any better at SummerSlam in Arizona when I was out there with Kanyon, actually. We're at this post SummerSlam party, and this little kid, man, he's having everybody sign his belt, his WCW or World Heavyweight title replica belt. Everyone sign it. He's like fucking kid in a candy store. He sees Ric Flair. The kid could have been more than 8. He walks over to Ric Flair, so stoked, like, oh my god, 16-time world champion. He signed my title. He starts to walk. He doesn't even get over there to say a word. Rick just looks at him and goes, nah, sorry, kid. Fucking kid just deflates.
Right?
I'm like, whoa, Ric Flair's an ass.
oh, man.
Buried the kid.
But that's funny, man. But yeah, I don't know. But so the Sunday, so WrestleCon's an autograph sign all day. That night there's a show, and I show up. Nothing to do. I'm not booked on the show, just there with my pass. And I see some sparkly heels on the ground, and I'm like, oh, and I look up, and I go, oh, I really like your heels. Hi, I'm Mitch. And she goes, hi, call me Tam, right? And we just started talking, man. We just hit it off, our birthdays are 10 days apart. We just hit it off, straight up. She was like, come look at my ass tattoo in the bathroom, and we're just talking all night, and end up, she's like, all right, so you're coming to my hotel tonight. And I was like, all right. And she's like, all right, I'll pick you up, text me or whatever. I'm like, cool. So I go back to the motel or whatever. I'm with my buddies. I'm drinking. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this is not going to happen. She fucking picks me up. And just so much funny stuff. The driver is like a hardcore APW fan. So he's driving her, and he's like, Mitch Valentine, and she's like, oh my god, she's like, or he goes, the Heartbreaker, Mitch Valentine, and she goes, oh, I did the Heartbreak Kid, now I'm gonna do the Heartbreaker, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude. So we got a kid in the room here, so I'm gonna keep this PG, but basically we get back to her hotel room, and it was some funny stuff with as far as she always has to have the USA Network on for some reason. What? I don't know why. I don't know why. So the USA Network's on, and then everything
reruns of Wings or what?
Yeah, NCIS. I don't know. But so we're watching. So that's on, and then literally right before we'll say the baptism begins, I shit you not, a commercial for WWE Hall of Fame coming Monday comes on, and I'm like, WWE Hall of Fame ring. It all went down, and then what do you do, Brian? After you bap a Hall of Famer, a WWE Hall of Famer, you call your wrestling trainer. So I call Zach and Rick, and they're on the phone with her, and it was just nuts, man. It was nuts, and end up moving out there with her for a month, and
Where was she living?
In a little town called Palmerton, Pennsylvania.
Wow, what the hell?
Yeah. Now, she's actually a great girl, man. And it's kind of a sad story what's happened to her because she's actually really, really good person when she wants to be. And I enjoyed my time with her, man. And
she didn't have too many nice things to say about you.
I don't think she has any nice things to say about anybody.
Yeah, that might be true. I've heard some stories. Too, like I said earlier, I said, like, yeah, she was mine. I'm sure everybody else's freaking junior high, like, love and crush, especially when WWE was, like, the little peak there for a while. I remember I had the sunny poster above my bed, so that way every day I had right above me. So when I woke up, rain or sun, it'd always be a sunny morning. That was my little thing I'd always say. And I remember marking out for her at the Cow Palace when we had that super show down there at Cow Palace. Were you there yet?
I wasn't there, but I remember something going on.
And I remember like it was a big busting. Was like nobody got paid.
Yeah,
or
I remember hearing about
it. I remember she was there. I'm like, holy shit, because she had the fallout, if you will, where she wasn't looking so good, and then that was like kind of her comeback. I'm like, holy fuck, she's looking like sunny. And I got a picture with her. I'm like, holy shit. And then that was like 2007, I think it was. But the years came by. I remember she was with Davey Richards for a minute.
Yeah.
And I remember she was still looking okay then. I remember she was at the PWG, like, Kurt WrestleMania 2 or whatever it was, that Davey worked low key, and she's in the backstage. I kid you not. It was like so grotesque yet hot at the same time. She had a whole large piece to herself.
Oh, yeah.
And she was just devouring it like a fucking salve. And I'm like, that's like the way she was eating it too. It was so messy and disgusting, but it was like kind of a turn on. I'm like, is this really going down right now?
She can mow down on some food, right? And, that's why we got along so good.
And I mean, there's another SoCal wrestler down there that I won't have to bring him into it, but that has, as you said, bapped her a few times that she was into it. I remember thinking like, oh man, he's fucking over. That's pretty sweet. And then her better years started to go behind her. And I remember another female wrestler that was into me, another wrestling legend. I won't get to that to keep it kayfabe over, but she was with Sonya at one of the Evolve shows that I was on that same weekend. And I remember she introduced me to her, and I was like, and she gave me like the look. And this was obviously before you guys happened because it was WrestleMania weekend still. And I was like, you're past your prime, honey. I was like, and also my wife's just right over there, so it's probably not going to happen. Sorry. But, and then, I remember the following week or whatever, whenever I found out about it, I'm like, oh, she's with Mitch. And I was like, what? How the fuck did that happen? I'm like, oh, I guess good for him.
It was the talk of WrestleMania, man. I had my WrestleMania moment. And it was funny, too. One more thing on that. Like you said, man, when you were a teenager, everybody was all about her in the late 90s. I didn't start watching wrestling until 2000, so I was all about Stephanie McMahon and Trish. So for all my friends...
You missed the Sunday days.
So I missed it. So all my friends are all marking out. I'm like, yeah, she's cool, but I mean, Stephanie was the hot one. You know what I mean? So, no.
Man. I mean, I guess I could understand Trish. Trish would still be an awesome score, but
Stephanie's the queen, bro.
Is she Stephanie?
Stephanie's the queen.
I'm not sold with Stephanie, man. I don't know. I'm not that sold. I mean, like, there's like Mickie James for a while too was pretty up there. Victoria at one point.
How about Candice Michelle? I like her theme song. I think it's just her theme song.
I have her Playboy, but no, it's not. Walked out for me the other day, which was like, oh shit. I'm on the Stairmaster in LA Fitness, and I see a girl come up and start walking to her. I'm like, hey, that kind of looks like. No, it's not. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. And she comes. I was like, is she gonna say something to me? And she goes, hey, aren't you Cage? And I was like, yeah. And I goes, oh my god. And I'm like, fuck it is. She goes, I was just watching you. She pressed play on her phone. It's a match mine from Lucha Underground. And I'm like, you're Christy, right? And this fucking Christy hit me, barking out for me, watching Brian Cage matches on him while doing cardio. I'm like,
that's what's up.
And she tweets it. I'm like, all right.
Oh man,
made cardio morning a little sweeter that day. I was like, that's pretty cool.
She's still gorgeous. I saw her the same day I met her. She's gorgeous, man. No, that's awesome.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Hey, one more question.
I didn't think it was so cool.
We're in overtime, I bet, right? We're in overtime here, but I just want to ask you, like, what do you think's like your favorite experience that you've had, man, in just in your life? In your life, like some of the most, I'm trying to put this here, like, what felt the best as a person that you were able to be a part of, whether it's wrestling or something else, man.
I mean, well, you mentioned he's in the room. Undoubtedly, probably the birth of my son. I mean, being there. I was so afraid of babies too for so long. Like people would be like, "Hey, you want to hold it?" I'm like, "Hell no! I'll drop that thing and break it, and you can't fix it, no matter how much super glue you have." But and I remember being kind of like worried. Like one of my buddies that had a kid young too was like, "Oh man, I saw it happen. I threw up. It was so gross." I'm like, "What?" And so like I was unsure and like how it was gonna go down and. I don't know what happened, man. And it came out like, and it was easier too. And I instantly, like, I had like this. It's so corny and cheesy. They're like, "Oh, you're never gonna live anything you live your own child," man. It's so true. Like instantly, just so in love. I'm like, I wanted to hold him so bad and cut the umbilical cord, and like nothing about it was gross or grossed me out. And I had tears coming down. And I was just so happy to sport my Sweet Evil Dead T-shirt. I mean, it was awesome, man. Then I mean, we're not just like your ex. That's my friend. His mom and I are not best of friends either anymore. But even then, I got to admit to her. Not only did she let me go to Deep South after he's born, but the day he was born, she let me go watch Monday Night Raw with this guy on the couch, Eos and Vic Bickley. So I come over and I'm like, dude, have a kid. And Bickley jumps up and gives me the most awkward hug of all time. That's a little inside joke. But yeah, that I mean, if we're talking about life things, that's got to be number one.
No doubt. No, I felt you were going to say that, man. And that's awesome, bro. And yeah, I can't believe he's 10 years old now.
Yeah.
I remember when he was a baby, man. That's crazy. And then how about in wrestling, bro? Like your favorite thing that you've done in wrestling, in entertainment, what was it?
Well, favorite thing I've done in wrestling is probably Melissa Santos. But outside of that, yeah, you know, just because it's so memorable. So, I mean, I love that I got to accomplish my dream with WWE by the time I was 24. I've had, you know, awesome matches with Tyson Kidd. I got to go to Japan. I've traveled to like 9 different countries now. And I mean, there's been so many different things I could use. But undoubtedly going back to it, the Grand Canyon encounter, man, was just such a memorable thing for me. And so awesome, you know, my idol. And, you know, what's crazy is, and one of my good friends was the referee. And out of that match, I'm the only one alive, dude. Both of them have passed since then, which is nuts. And it's still, I can go back and watch it today, and I just love the match and the feeling and the emotion. I remember I wanted to put Kanyon over so bad. He refused to freaking let me put him over. And it's just such a memorable day. And I remember feeling the feeling I had there. It's still such a high. Like if I'm down, I can really think about it. It picks me up a little bit. And I remember even saying, like, I could retire tomorrow, and I'd feel pretty complete with my career just because it was such an incredible feeling. Like there was, I mean, all your friends, all your family, your hometown, your freaking idol, your own federation. I mean, it was just so awesome. The fact that it happened so sporadically like that, I mean, it was incredible.
Hell yeah, bro. All right, Brian Cage. Overtime on Mitch, please, man. We did it.
Episodes.
It might be. No, we're keeping this all one episode, bro. And thank you again so much for coming on the show, man. Hopefully we get you on the show down the line and again. And best of luck to you in everything you do, man.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Big thank you to Brian Cage for coming on the show. I mean, the guy is a true professional. He's a physical specimen, and he's a guy that I really like and would consider a friend. And I don't know if he would feel the same about me, but that's all right because I'm just the kind of guy that no matter what will tell you exactly how I feel. I'm honest, sometimes to my detriment, and I just do what I want to do. And speaking of doing what I want to do, you know, Pro Championship Wrestling Last Man Standing is going down this Saturday night at the Oroville Municipal Auditorium. We've got the PCW Heavyweight Wrestling Champion Sin defending his championship in the 30-man Rumble for the very first time in PCW history. And also Carl Fredericks, the new PCW Inter-California champion, is going to be putting his title on the line against Mitch Please alumni, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, and also Mitch Please alumni, the Classic Connection, are going to be putting their PCW Tag Team Championships on the line against the Sky Brothers. And then we've got Royce Isaacs coming up from Denver, Colorado, and he's set to go one-on-one with, you guessed it, another Mitch Please alumni, Zack Primetime Reeb. And this is all going down this Saturday, January 14th at the Oroville Municipal Auditorium. Tickets are almost sold out, so you definitely want to get those. I would encourage you to, you know, check out Pro Championship Wrestling on Facebook. Follow them on Twitter at PCW since 1999. And hell, just give them a call right now, 530-315-4020. Make sure you reserve your ticket for this Saturday because tickets are going to be sold out, no doubt about it. And also want to give a shout out to Mike Shupe and Shuperstar Productions, again, for all the continued support and all the continued great work that he's been doing. You see the graphic right now in front of you, and many other graphics, many other flyers, videos, photography. Mike Shupe and Shuperstar Productions can do it all, so check those guys out. And finally here, I want to make it official here on Mitch Please. If you follow Pro Championship Entertainment, Pro Championship Entertainment, the creation that myself and basically Zack Reeb came up with in 2015 when I won the championship, man. We never really got a chance to run with it, and I had so many ideas. And those ideas are going to come to fruition, and they're coming to fruition on February 17th at Shenanigans in Chico, California, because Pro Championship Entertainment presents stand-up comedy. Now, we've got basically the face of the Chico comedy scene, Mark Leathers. He's going to be headlining the event. Also, Don Ashby, Scott Powers, Sidney Hupp, Jason Allen, and the stand-up comedy debut of the one and only, my wrestling trainer, one of my best friends, Zack Primetime Reeb. He's going to be making his stand-up comedy debut. So it's going to be really exciting, guys. Check out Pro Championship Entertainment on Facebook. Follow on Twitter at PCE since 2015. And get your tickets now. They're also going to sell out, man. This is the year right here, 2017, Pro Championship Wrestling, Pro Championship Entertainment. We're going to sell out buildings, and we're going to make dreams happen. So if you want your tickets for Pro Championship Entertainment, just give us a call right now, 530-990-8588. All right, and I appreciate everyone that follows this show, on Facebook as well. I swear, I got like 17 Facebook pages, guys, and everybody that likes those pages and shares them and everything else, I really appreciate. But Mitch Please Podcast, of course, Facebook.com/Mitch Please Podcast. I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at HeartbreakerMV. I appreciate all the support. I don't have time for an outro this week, so I'm just going to end the show right now. And you have been listening to Mitch Please, and thank you.